Hello, everyone, and welcome to, March the 3rd, our regular legislative meeting of the town of Vegreville. I call this meeting to order at 3 o'clock. I'll be looking for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Lemko makes the motion. Is there any additions or deletions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Next, I'll need a motion to adopt the minutes of our last regular legislative meeting. Councillor Jagalik makes the motion. Is there any errors or omissions within the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, so we're going to go to some quarterly reports, and we're going to start with utility manager. Jorgen, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Your Worship, councillors. The first three on my list here are from last year, 2025. The projects were completed after my report. I think that was September. So if you don't mind, I'll go through them. So the first one was our MCC cabinet replacement and SCADA upgrade. The MCC cabinet was completed in 2024, sorry, my years are getting mixed up. It's a budgeted item. So last year we completed our SCADA upgrade. Everything's all completed, and it was estimated to be $279,000. Unfortunately, everything came in at $292,600. In March of 2025, we had asked corporate services for an additional $13,600, which they authorized to cover the material price increase in order to complete the project.
And where is this installed at?
The SCADA system, it's installed in 3 different locations. At our ELRC, our main west reservoir, the pump house, the secondary reservoir by the arena, and at Public Works.
Okay. And the increase on the materials was just on the length of time that it had to get done over the budget, over the contract?
Yep. Okay. And like I said, material prices also increase over time as well, so.
Okay, is there any other questions on that project? Okay, go ahead.
The second item for from 2025 was our pump rebuild for our main sewer lift. Again, the pumps after 15 years of service, they've basically done their lifespan, so everything has to be rebuilt inside. That was a budgeted item. That was completed and installed in August of 2025. It was budgeted for $41,000, but the actual cost came in at $34,127. Pump was delivered and installed. It's completed, in service.
We're halfway to the overrun on the other one.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, any questions on the pump rebuild? Okay, keep going.
The third one is our fun one. We updated our bulk water system last fall. It was a budgeted item that was completed in October of 2025. The budget was for $45,000 for that project, and it actually came in at $41,091. Again, that's a completed item.
And I have given council 2 reports since this report on the progress where we were having issues and where we've corrected them, so you don't have to get into that.
Okay.
And Jurgen, how do you feel? Are we still getting a few complaints out there, or are we?
If we are, I'm not hearing about them. And again, if, another possibility, if there are complaints, it's probably just the repeats. The same person has to find something all the time.
Okay. Keep moving.
Okay, our Prosperity Park wet well cleaning project. Basically, it's cleaning the wet well of the solids. It's a budgeted item. It's going to be ongoing throughout the year. We estimated the budget for $16,000 for that. We've already had to clean it once, and it was $15,337. So all we can do now is basically monitor it for any kind of buildup in the wet well. Hopefully there's no more buildup, and just keep going like that.
Go ahead, Director LaFave.
Jorgen and I are, and with the help of some other talent out there, are looking at modifying the way the sand and rock trap system is working. So we've got some modifications to make, which was not unusual because the rock trap is something that's made at a machine shop, not off the shelf that you would buy. So we're feeling pretty confident that once we make this alteration and change, that it will be more effective in the collection of that debris, and we won't have to pull it out by vac truck.
And if we were to get a few more liquids running through there, like
That,
tenants at the Prosperity Park, we sure help.
that's right, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's what we're shooting for. Any questions on this one? Go ahead.
Okay, next is our Northwest Sewer Lift spare pump. This is our sewer lift station in behind Love's Meats. Basically, any wastewater coming from Walmart and Boston Pizza, it all goes to there, and then it gets pumped out and then into our regular system. We're hoping to get a spare pump in case of failure from the others, which has happened in the past. The pump was ordered January 9th. They're looking at about 12 to 14 weeks delivery time. We estimated for 60,000. I'm hoping it's gonna come in under. Basically just waiting on delivery now.
And do we typically put this out for tender to like 3 large pump companies or?
I have one company in mind, and he's usually very, very good, so that's usually who I'm dealing with.
Okay. And we give them the specs on the pump that we want, so
Yes.
this pump is not like it's just sitting there, they have to build this pump.
Well, he has to track it down, and yeah.
This is a brand new pump.
Yeah, this will be a very brand new pump, yeah.
It's not a rebuild. It's new.
Any questions on this one? Okay, carry on.
So next is our Northwest Sewer Lift building. Basically, we're getting a local company to build a skid shack and place it there because all of our controllers and panels, boxes and everything are rusting out there. They're just wide open to the elements. So I'm hoping to put all that inside and protect it from the elements. Hoping to get that all completed by summer of 2026. It's a budgeted item for $70,000. The electrician has been notified to start ordering materials, and he has. And I'm gonna order the building in April, end of April, because it's only about 4 to 8 weeks construction time. So I don't wanna put this off too late in the year, and I don't wanna do it too early in the year type of thing, right?
Yeah, the one concern I'd have with this is how we're gonna tie it down, so someone just doesn't think they're gonna go and skid it out of there. It's not gonna be that big,
No, it's only gonna be 8 by 12.
yeah.
One other municipality that I go to on a regular basis, they have one. Again, it's kind of in a remote area, and they don't really have an issue with it.
Okay, so we're not gonna put any screw piles.
I could, yeah, screw piles or
Just, you know, it's not that big and it's on skids. You just never know somebody hooking onto that with a chain in their truck and driving away, but it's something to consider.
yeah. Yep.
Doesn't look like there's any more questions on that one, Jordan. Keep moving.
Next is our, another pump rebuild at our main sewer lift station. This will be the number 2, the pump that was in the number 2 spot, just for a rebuild and be put as a spare. It's a budgeted item, should be completed summer or fall of 2026. We're estimating about $35,000 to get this rebuilt. The pump was picked up February 4th, just waiting on repair and delivery now.
So this is the spare.
It will be the spare, yes.
Keep rolling.
And last on the list is our main sewer lift manifold piping. There's the last section there. Last year, we replaced some piping, and when they bolted it, it kind of did some minor damage to the existing piping. So we're just gonna replace the existing, and then we're gonna have no more worries. It's a budgeted item, aiming for early May of this year to start and complete it. Budgeted item for $55,000. The pipe installer came on January 30th and measured up what he's gonna need. The Overland Bypass Company was notified February 5th of what we're aiming for. Unfortunately, they can't come until the beginning of May. Two reasons: they usually go to Fort McMurray about now till the end of April for, I lost my train of thought, flood prevention. And also, they don't want to do it too soon for a risk of the lines freezing on them or the pumps freezing on them. So that's why we're aiming for May.
And the crack in the flange, is it leaking right now?
Not as far as I can tell. I'm checking every time I'm out there, I check, and so far the floor is dry, but you never know.
Eventually, it will. Okay.
And that's all I got for you for today.
Is there any questions for the utility manager here today? Jorgen, how are you making out with those 7 homes and water meters? Are they?
One got installed here last week. So just waiting on residents to move in, I guess. The other 6, just waiting to get the go-ahead to do it, basically.
So, do you feel that they've been turning water on and off on their own? The trades that have been hired out there?
I located a CC that was next to the house where the meter was installed, and I tried that one, and it was in the open position. So I'm thinking out-of-town contractors come in and they have their own rules and they do their own thing and don't say nothing, and it's after the fact we find out.
Okay. Maybe we should build a tag that we put on the services and a piece of wire and wrap it around there. Just let them know what the fine will be. Because they turn it on and off, they get water. It just doesn't make any sense. But we'll take a look at that and try to come up with something, a little better system. You know, I think the local plumbers in the area already know that that's not their job.
Yeah, that's the ones I've worked with anyways. They know what our routine is and what our bylaws are, yes.
Maybe we should include something in their building permit, their package.
I was gonna bring this up at the next ledge meeting, all of this water meter, bylaw changes, fines, penalties, processes. So this is a bit early for us. We can chat about it, but I'll have way more information next ledge.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the process, then I'm very happy. I mean, that's what we need, so. Okay, any other questions? Okay, you're good. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. So next up is Protective Services, and are we waiting on someone for that?
No, Your Worship, that's me. Okay, so we'll go through the budgeted items first. So under Protective Services, one of the first budgeted items was first aid kits under safety. Excuse me. So this is, our first aid kits actually are off track at this time. We are over budget on them. And the estimated budget was $4,000 on this. And what has happened is the cost to date, we're at $4,893. We had to replace 3 AEDs. The curling rink, social center, and the library. We discovered that the curling rink AED, the whole AED had expired. They have a shelf life of 5 years. So we had to replace it. So because it was overdue, we also then started a quest of creating an inventory of our AEDs. So, excuse me. This was an unexpected expense that we realized when we discovered the curling rink AED had expired. We started looking at all our AEDs and found issues. We were going to look to see if we can possibly get a service club to donate the AED for the VIC, because we still need to purchase an AED for the VIC, and they're coming in around $1,600. So due to this, the first aid kits, they are being updated, but with supplies only. We're not purchasing full kits to replace. We are replacing what we need to on the inside and relabeling the kits with the correct and updated dates. And this is to keep costs manageable. So in the next steps, we have created an inventory of listings of all our AEDs now, with their expiry dates included. We have begun purchasing all the same brands, so our components are interchangeable, the pads, the batteries. And the battery life is 3 years longer than the previous ones that we had. And this allows savings throughout the life of the AED, because the other ones we had to replace the batteries midway. And this particular manufacturer also offers a trade-in value for the expired AEDs. So the overall safety budget has room for this. We just need to be careful with the remainder of the year to get savings where we can.
Okay, and where does this fall? Under who?
This falls under safety, health and safety right now, so which is currently under the umbrella of protective services.
Any questions on these AEDs? Go ahead, Councillor Riddick.
I appreciate that checking one led to the follow-up with all the other AEDs. I am curious about approaching service clubs to replace necessary equipment in our facilities. I think maybe if somebody was offering, that would be different than going out and soliciting. So in my opinion, there might be a service club that is just waiting to be asked. But at this point, I would be more comfortable with, as a municipal operation, that we want to make sure that our facilities are ready to go. So that would be my opinion.
At this point, the VIC does not have an AED. It's never had an AED, but with 80,000 visitors, we feel it's prudent that we put one in there. And the ones that we are purchasing are very user-friendly. They give all the prompts. And I put that in there just in chance maybe a service club was looking to purchase something. It's not something we'll actively solicit, but if anybody is looking to fund, we would gladly take their donation in their name.
The one at the curling rink is downstairs or is it upstairs?
I honestly,
It's downstairs.
it's downstairs, yes.
So that would be handy for Pasanka Days and the
Yes.
fair and stuff.
Yeah, we thought of switching them out, but the multiplex gets used during the summer for the fair, Pasanka festivals, the medieval festival and stuff like that. So we have decided that that one will just live there year-round in the off chance something happens in the summer months.
Okay, well, keep us updated.
So next on the budgeted items, we'll go to the fire department, and this would be the personal protective equipment. So the status on this is it's not started. The start date is expected to be around Q2 in the spring. It's for $20,000. And the fire department is currently looking at all their inventory and what PPE is necessary for 2026. And so once those decisions have been made about the necessary PPE, it will be purchased. And as discussed at budget time, this annual $20,000 will be moved to an operational cost to maintain the inventory. So there'll be no more capital asks for large sums to replace bunker gear and stuff like that. They'll just continually do this annually out of this $20,000.
But it'll always be for PPE, not,
It'll be for PPE, which the bunker gear has expiry dates after, depending on, excuse me, certain conditions that they are working under at structure fires can shorten the lifespan. It covers the repairs to the bunker gear when stuff gets ripped or burnt. And that's what that money will be used for.
Any questions? Okay, moving on.
All right, we will move to municipal enforcement now. And the next item would be the LiDAR speed radar. And this one is on track. It was ordered at the end of January. It was budgeted for $6,000 and the item was purchased for $5,435. The equipment takes 10 weeks for delivery, so we should be seeing it at the beginning of April. And then once the LiDAR arrives, the unit will be put into use. The CPOs already have the training for the handheld radar.
We expect them jumping up from behind the fence.
Yes.
Watching Councillor Brodjack speeding home. Okay,
The next one is the radar speed signs. They are budgeted. This status is on track. The delivery ETA is supposed to be March 5th, but I just got an email from Purelator here this afternoon stating it has been delayed due to weather, so we should be seeing this next week. Estimated budget was $5,000. These came in at $4,862. So these radar speed signs, they are the strobe lights for the posted speed limit signs, are to be delivered next week now. And then once delivered, when the weather clears up, the radar signs will be installed along the 47th Street playground area as a permanent reminder to the playground speed zone change.
okay, so this is, well, if you're entering town from the north,
You'll see it on, they'll be on, there's two signs for that price, and so, or two flashing strobes for that price, and one will be put on each, so the north and the south at the 30 kilometers. So you will see far in advance as you're coming from the north, and the speed changes from 80 to 50 to 30, you will see those signs far in advance.
okay, well, that seems like a better idea than a four-way stop. We'll see how it works out.
Okay, and the last one was the dash and body camera replacement. This was budgeted, it's on track, and the hardware is delivered, and installation should be completed in March. The estimated budget on this was $10,000, and the cost to date is $9,816. So the progress update, the original budget asked was for $38,000 in US dollars in 2026. Working with Motorola, we have the project broken down to a manageable operational cost spread over 5 years. This includes all hardware, software, and cloud storage. And the initial year is the most expensive, and then after that, the costs go down. Once dash cams are installed, the CPOs will switch to the Motorola body cams and begin using the complete system.
Okay, no questions?
All right, and then just to give you, just to give council a recap of 2025 for protective services. We'll start with fire. In 2025, fire responded to 244 calls, 16 structure fires, 11 of them in town, 5 in rural areas, 46 medical calls, 40 in town and 6 in rural areas, 21 wildland, and that's grass fires, 5 in town, 16 in rural areas, and this does not include deployments. So if they're deployed to Jasper, this isn't in this count. 44 MVRs, which I found out because I thought it was MVCs. It's MVRs, and it's motor vehicle response. 21 in town, and 20 on the highway, and 3 on rural roads. There were 4 mutual aids, 97 false alarms, 92 in town, and 5 in the rural areas. 4 public assistance / investigations in town, and 16 miscellaneous calls, 15 in town, 1 in rural. And those are the CO2 alarms, gas leaks, power line, stuff like that. In 2025, the firefighters also logged 3,421 hours in training. And then to date, in 2026, fire has responded to 39 calls, 6 structural fires, 6 medical assists, 4 wildland, which are grass fires, 8 MVRs, 13 false alarms, and 2 gas leaks. For municipal enforcement, in 2025, they created 1,357 files. Excuse me. The CPO officers created 1,100 files. Our summer student for bylaw created 207 bylaw files, and the manager created 50 bylaw files. All of this resulting in $64,383 in fines, of which $38,650 comes to the town. So to date, in 2026, our 2 CPO officers have handled 91 files, written $1,944 in traffic tickets, and $2,500 in bylaw tickets. And that's my report.
Okay, any questions for CAO Ling? We'll start with Councillor Rudick.
Just had a couple questions about the fire reporting and municipal enforcement. So I'm not sure if you can answer these, but I'm wondering, the false alarms seem very high again. And I'm wondering, we had talked about increasing public awareness, making sure that the public is aware of the staged costing of false alarms. Wondering if we know if this is up from previously again, and where we are with trying to do the public awareness.
I cannot answer whether or not the false alarm calls are up from previous years. I don't have that data in front of me. And the public education piece, the fire department is working with Manager Brown, and they're creating another piece that will be going out here in the spring to remind homeowners that when you purchase an alarm system, install an alarm system in your house, to make sure that the alarm company is calling you first, not the fire, to deploy them right away. And that'll be coming, like I said, that'll be coming out in the spring. They're currently working on the messaging.
Okay, thank you. And I did actually have a question from a resident asking about red light cameras, wondering if that's something that we were interested in. I appreciate that we've got a couple budgeted items in here that are directly related to concern from the public and public safety. You know, having the lights on 47th Street is something that's from previous council, obviously, but it is meant to be a calming effect for traffic, and as much as people may not enjoy paying the fines, I'm really pleased to see that our CPOs have been able to generate this revenue, because it's not just punitive, it is also preventative, especially if they are related to traffic tickets. So I'm wondering if there is any parameter for us to research red light cameras in specific. The intersections that were identified were the ones on 16A, both the one by the post office and 49th Street, one block down, because people like to race through. And I have noticed that that's become more prevalent as we have more lights. People tend to race through them. So I'm not sure if that's something that we can do, or if it's even within our power, because that's 16A. But that question has been asked.
At this point, this is the first I've heard of it, so we can do a little bit of research. Again, 16A is Department of Highways, so unsure what we can do there, but we will look into it and provide council a report.
Thank you for that.
Okay, Councillor Lemko.
Yes, Your Worship. Question for CAO Ling. In the past, we've deployed our personnel and resources to help assist in wildfire. Were we out last year in any areas, and if so, were we compensated for our time, and to what extent?
Yes, we were deployed last year. Now you're testing my memory, so so excuse me if I do get this wrong, but I do know they went. 60,000. Yeah, we went to Jasper. Jasper fires were last year, correct? We did go to Jasper, but I think the year before. So we were deployed out. Sorry, it all gets. We were deployed out, but we are deployed out at the behest of the county. So the county got the deployment funds and we got paid for the equipment and the personnel that we sent up there as well. So yes, we did. And our deployment funds came in just a little over $60,000.
That'll buy a lot of PPE.
Pardon me?
That would buy a lot of PPE.
There's also the corresponding wages. So we receive $60,000, but then also for deployment expenditures. I have these all on separate lines now, so it's much easier for me to find. Our actual expenditure was $35,000, so about 50% of it is our net profit off of that.
And that just rolls
As right now, it's rolling into surplus. I do have more comments on that in my director's highlights.
You have another question, Councillor Lemko?
Yes, Worship. So we're deployed through the county of Minburn to go assist in wildfires in the province. I just don't understand how that process would work, that they would,
It depends on the vehicles they request.
Okay.
So that's, the request was for the county vehicles.
Okay.
So the county, the request would have then gone to the Director of Protective Services for the county. He would have assigned the units and then the request to the, our fire department for personnel.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you all. Let's move on to Director Lefebvre and snow removal and sanding policies.
Thank you, Your Worship. It is the snow removal and sanding policy. Background, the attached MOS 2004 snow removal and sanding policy is scheduled to be reviewed every 3 years. The IP&D department has completed its review of the policy and have determined there are no significant changes to be made to the policy since it was last reviewed in 2023. Communication strategy is to inform, level 1. The options are, Council recommends adding MOS 2004 snow removal and sanding policy as presented to the agenda of the next regular council meeting. Or 2, Council requests further review and a revision of MOS 2004 snow removal and sanding policy prior to approval.
Okay, thank you. So the policy is the next piece, so if you go through it, and if you would like to have a conversation about anything that's in the policy right now, the recommendation is that it's good the way it is. Please let Director Lefebvre's department know before the council meeting so that they could have the information ready. And if there is none, then we will just pass the policy the way it sits today. Go ahead, Councillor Rudick.
I don't see anything myself that needs to be addressed. But what I am curious about is when the public comments or is concerned about snow removal in whatever capacity, do we keep track of those comments and complaints and collate them so that when we do a review like this, we're able to refer back to how many comments we had about certain specifics? And of course, they're all individual and everybody's an expert. But anybody that takes the time to call in and log a complaint, is there a way of collating that and keeping that in place?
All the calls that come in are recorded and written down, and the action that has been taken. And if there's complaints about snow removal, they're all, like I said, recorded and written in. And then the manager will go through them because he gets them directly. And if there's some that have some validity, something that a change may make things better, then those are considered when we do a review of the bylaw.
Okay.
But not the ones on Facebook. Okay. Okay, so again, the process, if you guys have something for the next council meeting, reach out to Director Lefebvre's department or and then let him know, and then he'll be able to research and come back with the information during the council meeting.
Right, and this is the one where, this is what triggers us to go, I know you've reviewed it. So in the procedure is that we have that we can change administratively is changing where we start, where we go, jumping from north side to south side once we get half caught up. Those are things that we do that are not in this policy because it's a procedure that we follow.
Yeah. Go ahead, Councillor Lemko.
Yes, Your Worship. How does this policy tie into the level of service that the council sets for items like snow removal? Is that done through a procedure where we say that the costs associated with moving this much snow are substantial, and in the budgeting cycle where we look to save money, again, a level of service is sets that. So is it tied to procedure or policy or bylaw or?
When we do our, as you're aware, when we do the, the budget process, administration offers things that would enhance snow removal. Maybe it's another end dump, maybe it's another whatever we think. And then the level of service is then reviewed by council. If they feel the level of service is adequate and we're providing a quality level of service, then that's what they use to make a decision in a budget.
Okay, well, thank you very much. CAO Ling.
All right, thank you, Your Worship. We have some correspondence, and this first one is from Minister Dan Williams of Municipal Affairs, and it reads, Dear Chief Elected Official or Library Board Chair, I am pleased to invite your municipality or library board to provide submissions for the 2026 Minister's Award for Municipal and Public Library Excellence. It's a MAMPL, is the acronym. This program recognizes excellence in municipal government initiatives and the provision of library services and promotes knowledge sharing to build capacity. These awards offer an opportunity to recognize the truly great work happening in communities across Alberta. The 2026 program features 4 municipal and 2 library award categories. For each municipal category, 1 award will be given for municipalities with populations under 10,000 and 1 given to municipalities with populations over 10,000. For each library category, 2 awards will be given to library boards serving populations under 10,000 and 2 for library boards serving population over 10,000. Submissions will be accepted in the following categories, and I'll just read the titles, not all the information. Building economic strength, it's open to all municipalities. Enhancing community engagement or livability, it's open to all municipalities. Partnership, open to all municipalities. Red tape reduction or service delivery enhancement, it's open to all municipalities. Public library service, open to all library boards serving a population under 10,000, and public library services open to all library boards serving a population over 10,000. Details regarding eligibility and submission requirements are available on the Minister's Awards for Municipal and Public Library Excellent webpage, and the deadline for submission is March 31st. Questions about the program for municipalities can be sent to the government, or program advisors may be reached at the toll-free number. Questions about the program for library boards can be sent to the library's email, or program advisors can be reached at the toll-free number. I encourage you to share your success stories, and I look forward to celebrating these achievements with your communities. Sincerely, Dan Williams, ECA, Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Okay, any questions on that? We've received one of these before.
That is correct. We received a MAMPL award for partnerships, and that was for our work with the Stand With Ukraine Committee.
Well, some of the direction we'd like to see happen at the library and the community center, we should be keeping track of everything that we're doing there, and maybe we could, in a year or two, we could put in for one of these awards, community building awards and stuff, so we just keep a little bit of cataloging of what's going on there. Any other questions on Minister Williams's letter? Seeing none, carry on.
All right, the second piece of correspondence is from the County of Minburn, and it reads, Dear Mayor and Council, and it's regarding the conclusion of county participation in the Regional Recreation Feasibility Study. The county has recently noted on social media that the town is undertaking another regional recreation feasible study survey. We wish to confirm that from the county's perspective, the work of the Regional Recreation Feasibility Study Steering Committee has been fully completed, with the RRFS now finalized, and its findings clearly indicate that the proposed regional recreation facility is not financially feasible. The county would like to formally advise the town that we will no longer be supporting the Regional Recreation Feasibility Study Steering Committee. The RRFS assessed the viability of constructing a new regional recreation facility that would meet and exceed current and future usership needs within the region. The final study and recommendations were completed and presented to County Council on May 16th, 2025. In accordance with Section 3.4 of the Steering Committee Terms of Reference, the RRFS Committee was to remain active until the consultant, OCL, completed the study and delivered its recommendations. With that work now concluded, the Steering Committee's mandate has been fulfilled. The county appreciates the opportunity to participate in the feasibility review and to collaborate with regional partners on this important initiative. However, given the scale of the proposed capital investment and the county's current and emerging financial pressures, including significant upcoming infrastructure commitments, a potential lodge expansion, increasing policing costs, and anticipated reduction in provincial grant funding, it is not feasible at this time for the county to consider any financial commitment towards construction of a new recreation facility. We want to emphasize that this decision pertains solely to the capital development project. The county continues to value our partnership with the town in providing regional recreation services, and we remain committed to supporting the operation of the existing recreation facilities within the town for the benefit of residents across the region. Thank you once again for your collaboration throughout the feasibility process. We look forward to a continued partnership on recreation and other shared priorities. Sincerely, Roger Konechny.
Financially.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we are definitely doing another survey, for sure. You didn't have to be a great reader of tea leaves to see the commitment we had from our regional partners, and I'm not just talking the County Minburn, it's all the other users of our facilities. But we did this regional recreation feasibility study for one reason, because we need it. We need to have it done. We cannot just sit around and wait until the pool shuts down on its own and we just close it. I mean, we have an obligation, not just to our residents, but obligations to the other municipalities around us to supply these services, really. So it's kind of weird that part of the study talked about what are the shortcomings of our facility today, and just trying to understand what's going to happen at the pool. And if we're not out in front of it and have some engineering done to replace the filter system, to build onto the building, it will be closed permanently. So we are undergoing a new survey, and we are trying to find out what is good within our facilities today, what improvements we could look at. We definitely are not going to wait until everything closes and just fill in the pool. We have a responsibility to keep our facilities up and running, and we need input from not just local people, but for those users of from other municipalities. I do appreciate Reeve Konechny's concerns, but we don't have the luxury of just stopping and not fixing what we have. Is anybody else that'd like to comment on this?
Comment.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think it's important to note that once we do have the regional recreation feasibility study complete, and you had presented it on social media and presented the final report, but it is, again, community engagement, and once the report is complete, we do need another we need to have a community engagement to find out what the public is thinking about this. So I think it was very important to have this survey out there.
Okay, thank you. Well, without having, a study done and some direction laid out for council, won't be able to plan our financial situation on what we can do and how many years it will take us to bring the facilities existing facilities up to where they should be. Again, I don't think anybody on this council is ready to close any of our facilities, and we will still be looking for some partnership, but I don't know how that will go. But without the study done, when you're applying for grant funding, and I need everybody to understand that this whole survey, this whole feasibility study was done with a grant funding, not with tax dollars, and the government gave the money to get the findings that we need to make the right decisions moving forward. So I know there's been some comments on Facebook and some other social media that we're wasting our tax dollars on these studies and on these surveys, but in actual fact, without a study and without the surveys, you don't really qualify for any more funding. So hopefully people will understand that next time they're sitting at their keyboard. Go ahead, Councillor Rudick.
I was just going to comment that it's nice to have regional partnership to be able to participate in the grant portion of this process. And maybe it's been confusing to the public to understand why we would be asking questions about regional planning again, because it might feel to some of them that they've just done that. I did have some questions about the actual bones of the survey, just because it's a bit different than surveys that have been, that they participated in the past, and it is a little bit of a different format, but as it's been echoed by my colleagues on council here, this is step 2 in a 100-step process, and if we don't have the planning in place and the conversations that took place regionally, we can't move to the second step, and this second step is actually the more material one where we can start planning our operations, but we need to engage with users. And I believe the survey is still live, so I would encourage anybody that is interested to again go to our website and make sure that they take that survey to actually quantify what it is that's important. We appreciate the letter from Reeve Konechny and their support for recreation services. But we have to, as the town of Vegreville, consider operations, capital costs, future planning, and the restrictions that we have facing us if something goes sideways right away. So we can't do this work without all of the steps in place. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, so we're forging ahead. We're going to see what the survey's results come in. We already know what the major problems are infrastructurally with our facilities. And if we wanted to build on the new filter and mechanical room right now, it would probably be 2 years before all the engineering and stuff would be done there. So we're trying to get out in front of this, and there will be a shutdown no matter what when that goes forward. But maybe there's some other things that we can do to that facility to enhance the user's experience when they're there. So, like new lockers, change room, just some ideas. Okay, thank you. The next one.
All right, thank you, Your Worship. This next memo to council is regarding an assessment review board member appointment. So administration has received an application for a new member on the assessment review board. Mr. Rick Peterson has recently moved to Vegreville and has expressed an interest in becoming an ARB member. As founder and CEO of a capital investment company, Mr. Peterson brings significant financial experience to the ARB. In accordance with Bylaw 11-2025, administration is recommending that Mr. Peterson be appointed to the Town of Vegreville Assessment Review Board for a 2-year term with an opportunity to be reappointed upon expiry of his term. Upon approval of this appointment, Mr. Peterson will complete the legislative training through the Land and Property Rights Tribunal. So, and the financial implications for this are that ARB members are remunerated in accordance with the Assessment Review Board bylaw. A communication strategy that once adopted, the ARB clerk will contact Mr. Peterson to confirm his appointment and upcoming training dates. So the options before Town Council today are they may accept Mr. Peterson's application and proceed with the appointment at the next regular council meeting, or Town Council may reject Mr. Peterson's application and instruct administration to continue looking for a new ARB member.
Okay, any comments? We won't be talking about this until Monday, but go ahead, Councillor Jagali.
Thank you. Yes, I would just like to mention that Rick Peterson is the newest member of our tourism board. And he's a wealth of knowledge and information, highly educated, lots of great life experience. I think he'd be a great addition. Look forward to voting on that next council meeting.
Okay. We'll deal. We'll see how that goes at the council meeting, Mr. Peterson.
Okay, this next memo to council is regarding the draft flag protocol policy. So the background is the Town of Vegreville policies and procedures are reviewed every 3 years so that they may be adapted for new best practices and ensure consistency with organizational priorities. Administration has recently reviewed GOV 1003 flag protocol policy and is proposing the following for discussion. So the current community flagpole locations identified in section 2.4 of the draft policy are difficult to access in the winter months. Administration is recommending the addition of section 6.2. In consideration of the location of the community flagpoles may not be flown at half-mast during the winter months. This would impact 2 to 3 half-masting events, the November 11th, December 6th, and potentially October 4th, depending on weather. For future planning purposes, council may consider budget allocations towards new flagpoles that do not require the bucket truck and a ladder for the half-masting events. This policy follows the guidelines of the national and provincial half-masting protocols. The dates and the events identified under section 6.4 reflect those protocols. October 4th, National Day of Action for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls, is not listed under either half-masting protocols, but was added to section 6.4 after the last policy review. Administration is seeking council's direction on whether to continue reinforcing this half-masting event. The RCMP detachment has been removed from this policy. The RCMP comply with the national flag half-masting protocols and are responsible for the raising and lowering of their own flagpoles. And then the form, Appendix A, has been removed from this policy. Any requests for the community flag raising program must be submitted to the CAO in writing. Recommendation for what should be included in the written requests are outlined in section 7.2 of this draft policy. Financial implications. There are no financial implications at this time. Half-masting events occur during regular scheduled working hours. There may be future financial implications if council chooses to replace the existing community flagpoles with new models that include an internal winch system. Communication strategy, level 1 public engagement process. This policy will be available for the public on the Town of Vegreville website. So the options for council today is that council may take time to reflect on the discussion items proposed by administration and discuss the draft policy in full at the next legislative committee meeting on March 17th, or council may discuss the draft policy today, provide direction to administration, and move forward with the policy approval at the next regular council meeting on March 9th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what are your thoughts? Do we want to go and take some time to go through this policy and debate it on the 17th? Or are you guys fine with the changes that are within the new recommendations from the admin? Go ahead, Councillor Lemko.
Yes, Your Worship. I would like to take a bit of time and digest the documents that we have in front of us. I think they were just delivered here yesterday, and we haven't had a lot of time to read it over and make sure it meets the needs of our community and citizens we serve.
Okay. So basically, some of the recommendations are the half masking in the winter because of the accessibility of some of the flags is quite tough. And the bucket truck is not always available.
The bucket truck's available, however, getting the bucket truck to where the flags are, especially on the west end of town, is difficult in the winter.
And anybody asking to have a flag, their request would go through you first.
Yes, there was a form in the old, like in the current policy, there is a form for them to fill out and submit. In reality, they usually just email and ask anyways, so we're just removing a step.
Okay, and what was the other recommendation, the other change?
There is one of the current half-masting events, the
Indigenous women.
the missing and murdered Indigenous women, that because it's not listed in the federal or the provincial, it's not listed in the provincial, we're wondering if you still would like to continue to do that. That one's on October 4th. That one can, depending on weather, be hit and miss. Same with the October 11th half-masting. They sometimes are difficult if we get an early snowfall.
Well, I'd feel terrible like on the 11th if they weren't at half-mast, no matter what. I wouldn't even fly a flag if we couldn't get to it. So federally, the Indigenous missing women flag is recommended federally, but provincially not enforced, is what you're saying.
No, it's not listed under either federal or provincial, national or provincial, sorry.
And have we been recognizing that day by flying our flags at half-mast?
Yes, we have.
And did anybody request this of us?
I'm not sure how it I'm not sure how it ended up in the policy, if somebody requested it or in official capacity. I wasn't the author of the policy at the time.
Okay, so is everybody good that we go through the policy and have some debate on this on the 17th before any changes that we'd like to make? Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, it looks like I have one. Diane Lydham. Please consider this letter of invitation to you for you to attend the noon luncheon followed by the presentation of Quilts of Valor Canada at the Royal Canadian Legion on Friday, March 27th, 2026. Each quilt is handmade with each veteran's personal and preferred colors and the Canadian symbols that best resonate with the individual veteran. I have seen many photos of veterans with their QOV quilts on Facebook. Each quilt is somewhat larger than a lap quilt and is handmade by Canadian volunteers who collect and donate fabrics, and either by themselves or as part of a group. So lovingly chose the fabrics, colors, and patterns that will mean most to a retired female or male veteran. This is such a labor of love and shows great respect for our dear veterans who have given so much to keep Canada and the Canadians free, not to mention peacekeeping and fighting wars overseas. We would greatly appreciate knowing how many of you would be in attendance on Monday, March 16th at 2 p.m. The tickets are $18 each and can be purchased at the door if that is the most convenient for you. You will be invited as guests, so there will be no speeches. We simply wish to have you there to show respect and appreciation and to honor our veterans. 10 local veterans will be receiving their quilts from two ladies from the QOV Calgary, who will make a return trip to present these precious quilts before returning to Calgary. Thank you so kindly for considering this opportunity to honor our dear veterans by being with them when being so wonderfully shown our gratitude and appreciation for their service. Should you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to call me. I never heard of them doing this before. Is there anybody that would like to attend?
I'll have to remind, we have, we will be attending an event on the 27th, the 26th and 27th in Edmonton. Munis.
Alberta Munis, yeah. And everybody's going, right? Thank you, Leslie. Wow. We are previously engaged, Mrs. Lydham. So sorry.
What time is this?
This is Friday. We get out at noon, right?
So what time is this?
At 2. It's a noon lunch, yeah. Yeah, our conference is over at, they say noon, but it usually runs till about 1:30. Okay, well, we're gonna have to actually turn this one down. Okay. Well, thank you so much for the letter. We're gonna hear some good or bad things right now, starting with Councillor Lemko.
Thanks, Your Worship. All good.
Nice.
There's nothing, thanks for continuing with the snow removal that we have, and the amount of work that's being done out there.
Thank you.
I believe we probably have to start over where we were.
Yeah, there'll be no savings on the snow removal budget this year. Councillor Curtis.
Thank you very much. Nothing really to report. I did have some concerns around some snow removal in back alleys. I talked to the resident, brought it up with Director Lefebvre, as we know that our priority is definitely the main roads, and getting back to all the back alleys is tough, but Director Lefebvre did take a check where it was asked to look at this particular back alley. So just to residents, when we have opportunity, we try, and if not, we are making sure you can get to school and the hospital and everywhere else on the main roads. So that's all from me.
Thank you. Councillor Rudick.
I brought my queries forward, but specifically, the question was raised about the actual structure of the facility or rec facility survey, that they'd never seen one where it actually gives you the percentage or the results of the question and asks for confirmation that you'd like to continue with the answer that you've given. So it's a bit different than what they'd experienced previously, and wondered about the structure of the rec facility survey. I said I'm not familiar with
Surveys in general, or?
or survey structure, but would find out a little bit more. And then the red light camera, just wondering about safety, because we've had variable weather, to put it mildly, so.
You think we got safety issues? I was in Edmonton this morning, and believe me, there was one spot, there was 7 tow trucks, even the police were off the Anthony Henday, and cars upside down and everything. It was just crazy. Councillor Brojak. Thumbs up or thumbs down? What have you been hearing?
Mostly thumbs up, but a lot of people, I think, are getting a little bit tired of winter weather, wanting some more blue skies and a little bit more sun. So that, and not too much on the snow removal. Everything is going good, I think, regarding that. There might be conversation again with daylight savings time. Just watching the news this morning, and apparently BC will be, this will be their last time change for daylight savings time, and they are opting to go with the same thing Saskatchewan is going as with the standard time. So I remember way back, about a decade ago, one of our residents of the community, she collected over 5,000 signatures to submit to the provincial government to have the daylight savings time removed. However, in my opinion, the wrong question was asked. So we didn't change.
I heard she didn't get the results in on time.
No, it was actually,
I heard she was an hour late.
she was an hour late. Well, I didn't hear that.
No, I
That's a
remember
good-
that.
that's
Yeah,
a-
it was funny
She
that
was
he,
an hour late with daylight savings time. But anyway, look forward to maybe the province bringing that question back so that we can,
so you're in favor then, I can,
I'm absolutely in favor of sticking with standard mountain time.
and, but you wouldn't want to just our municipality to do it on its own?
No,
Okay,
no.
that's good.
But I just brought it up because
It will be different.
Ruby Cassian
She did.
went out there and she collected, over 5,000 signatures, I
remember.
believe. So anyway, she might be looking down on us and getting her wish. And that's everything, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Jagalik.
Thank you very much. I can add to that and say I was a victim of daylight savings this last weekend. I was in Saskatchewan. I lost an hour going there, which was, it's always very difficult, but you know, it's awesome when you come home and you gain an hour. So. Not much for me. I did have an inquiry from a resident about snow removal, but on a smaller scale. Wondering about where snow goes between properties and when a neighbor is putting their snow on your private property. So I knew the answer to that, referred them to our community standards bylaw, and encouraged them to reach out to bylaw if need be, if efforts were lost again, dealing with the neighbor directly, and that was it. Yeah,
Excellent.
not much. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Roy.
Thanks, Your Worship. I don't have too much to, just hearing about snow removal. Actually was getting back into town last night around 2:30, seeing our crews out, so thank them for being out at those times and doing great work. Just to touch back here on the quilts, would we be able to send at least like a letter on behalf of the town, just congratulating the veterans that are receiving that and just thanking them for their service? I think that would be something nice to at least, even if we can't come to the service, at least we can be there and, or at least we can send something, our gratitude for everything they've done.
I think that could easily happen. Well, speaking of snow removal, I had to call the mayor of Lloydminster yesterday morning, Gerald Almers, and he was at a Tim Hortons in downtown St. John's. He got in at 4 in the morning. They had to have an extra stop in Halifax as they were out of fuel and a layover, but yeah, he was quite impressed with the amount of snow. They had over 100 centimeters in 1 week from Monday to Monday, and they already had about 3.5 feet on the ground. It is crazy. If you look at some of the pictures there, man. Anyway, Mayor Almers, he was like, "You can't believe it." I'm like, I can believe it. I actually haven't had a lot of complaints one way or the other, and usually I find out what the problem is and I deal with it with steering them in the right direction. So we're going to move on to director highlights, and we're going to start with Director Lefebvre today.
Thank you, Your Worship. At the last time we all met, one of the questions came out discussing snow removal, the cost of snow removal, and it was explained that we don't have an individual item for snow removal. It's built into our roads maintenance for the year. So I put this together with the help of some staff, Dan and Kayla at Public Works, and then Brianne helped me at this office. We molded and changed it to give you an idea of what it costs when you see the equipment out there. As it says here, the town of Vegreville does not use program budgeting. We utilize line item budgeting. Therefore, we don't have a specific snow removal budget. Funds for snow removal are captured in our operating and capital budgets based on previous years. What I've done is taking what we use for our fees and charges bylaw, and that's based on Alberta Road Builders accepted throughout the province as a rate. That rate covers capital costs, depreciation, if there was financing, insurance costs, fuel consumption, repairs, oils, filters, undercarriage, operators' wages. It covers everything, and truly that's what we do. as you municipality, I know, what does it cost to go grading for an hour? Well, you take your amount of fuel you burned and the operator's wage, and that's what it might have cost you, but that's not the entire picture of equipment replacement and depreciation and insurances and everything that goes with it. So I think this to be an accurate reflection of what it's costing us. This list is, if all of our equipment is out and running, this would be a good day for an 8-hour day based on standard wage rates, like between 8 and 5. So it is costing approximately $17,000 for an 8-hour day. That's a Monday to Friday regular scheduled snow removal day. We just went through our policy. We just are going to approve it at the next meeting, and that's what triggers us as a crew going out after hours when the manager and myself as a director can approve overtime by a previously approved policy set by council. So if they're contacted on Friday, they're at work, and it looks like we're gonna have to work Saturday because of the storm and such, then on that Saturday, they would be paid a time and a half. So the rate for the equipment stays the same. It doesn't burn a time and a half more diesel or a time and a half more insurance. That stays the same. What we've changed is just the salaries that it costs per day. So the wage for this full complement of snow removal equipment is approximately $350 per hour in wages. So we can see the time and a half is $21,200 per day. So that's $5,200 more than a standard time. And if we get a big snowfall on a weekend, for example, or throughout a Christmas season or something like that, where they're already at home, not at work, and now I have to call them in, then they get double time for coming out. So that relates an 8-hour day at a full complement of snow removal equipment, $22,600 per day. So when it triggers and we go out on a Saturday, this is a very good reflection that that Saturday is a $22,600 snow removal day.
Well, I appreciate you and your staff breaking it down, because how many days are we out in a winter?
Yep.
30? Easily.
Easily.
Yeah. You got a question, Councillor Rolla? Oh. Okay.
I think this is good information for the question that Councillor Lemko had asked earlier. What sets a level, a standard that you want to set? This is information that is very useful for council, because we can ramp up snow removal. I can add another end dump. I can add another truck. I can add, but that price per hour just keeps on going up. So that's what, so the people out there know, obviously, that's what council's weighing when they're doing budget.
Yeah, well, I think that this year, especially with the amount of snow that we've had, and we see a lot of complaints from other municipalities, and I think that our residents are starting to catch on at, at the level of service that we're offering here, and how quickly we get out and stay on it. I mean, some of the negative comments are always like, well, you guys were closed, and then you didn't come back because we had another snow, and it triggered going back to our priority routes again. But I really, myself personally, I don't hear a lot of complaints about snow removal. And people are understanding that to take the level up any more than what we're doing today is gonna come with a tax increase. And there's no way around it. I mean, we need some new equipment. We understand that. And we know that wages go up because our employees have the same inflationary pressures, running their household as we do. So, I mean, just from one year to the next at the same level of service, we know it's going to cost more. So, I mean, there's only so much we can do. So, go ahead, Councillor Riddick.
So I just had two questions. I appreciate that there might be other considerations that, might be added to this over time, just because, again, of course, you've calculated labor costs, but maybe not management costs or deployment costs. I mean, there are a lot of things that go into try to figure this out. And again, the number of pieces of equipment that we have to be able to operate and have staff able to utilize at the right time, as you said, is always a bit of a challenge, because we don't have a crystal ball on that list of equipment. I just had two questions. One is related to repairs. Are we able to, when you're talking about the costs here, is this taking into account that we are able to maintain and repair all of these pieces of equipment ourselves? Do we have the capacity to do that?
We have the capacity to do most of the pieces of equipment, depending, of course, what's wrong. Like the loader that we talked about last meeting that we're going to have to do some work to, we need a different facility to remove what needs to be removed. So some of the repairs, yes, we can do a good portion of them. If it's an in-frame on a grader, which there's 2 on this list, well, then we can't do that repair, that's farmed out.
Okay. And then my second question is kind of related to the policy proposed earlier in this meeting, as well as the costs here. The last 2 years in particular have had really dramatic change in freeze-thaw cycles in terms of the amount of snow that presents itself right on the heels of having above zero temperatures, where we may have gone right down to bare pavement in some places, or 1.5 foot of ridged hard ice. So I'm wondering if you've noticed any of the maintenance costs or the approach to snow removal changing that might also change some of our approach to snow removal. To the mayor's point, I think some of the conversations that have been really front and center, of course, is what's happening in Edmonton. And we've got a different approach here, but we certainly have noticed a change in how snow is presenting itself earlier and departing at different times. You know, like January was pretty odd weather for the most part, and then we've paid the price.
Yes, the way we remove snow, obviously with more of the freeze-thaw cycles, is changing, and we do get some complaints that we're not taking it down to bare asphalt at times. That's because you physically can't pull the ice off of the street. We have enough water valves and manholes and things at the street, on the street, that to use the grader with the moldboard rolled back to cut and get underneath, you're going to break things when you catch one of those items. So we take the moldboard and roll it forward, and we get a lot of complaints about that from residents that are be on the sidewalk watching, because it seems ineffective, but it's a safe way, so we're not breaking very expensive equipment. And then we will go back if the day and the weather and works to those spots we couldn't remove it. And once it spends a day, and like the first 2 weeks of February were wonderful, we could go back and give it a day out in the sun or the afternoon, and we could pull it right off. And that means going back again. So it does slow us down to get it down to the pavement. And we've been leaving some as well, because if it's not much left on the road, it's still very passable, it's safe, we have to leave those. And things happen. We did talk about the old loader that's worth fixing because the cost of a new one, but that's not gonna be ready for store till next year, till we can get it repaired. And we've got some older equipment, that's just a true thing. Our skid steer we use faithfully all winter for snow removal, it just threw a connecting rod out the block. It's 25 years old, it's got 1 million hours on it, and it's been well maintained. It's probably why we got that many hours out of it. But we'll be seeing you next budget, because if we want to maintain the level of service we have now, we're gonna need to replace that piece of equipment.
And Councillor Riddick, her question about the freeze thaw and the different changes, seeing whether, when we're picking that ice up, it is a lot harder on our equipment. The blades on our blower replacement, the chutes are worn out. It's just a lot tougher than the normal cold, and you get the snow off, but as soon as it starts thawing a bit and that ice builds up, it's a lot harder on all of our equipment. So, okay, thank you very much. Do you have anything else? Any other?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, let's move to Director Saski.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a few things for council today. So as always, year-end audit work is ongoing. Synergy CPAs will be in the office next week from March 10th till 12th for the year-end field work. So this is the big one. Along with final year-end figures, we'll be bringing several items to council prior to financials being presented at the end of April, including reserves, any reserve transfers that we have going on, and a budget to actual variance for the full year. So stay tuned. We also have the multiple dwelling project ongoing. Affected property owners did receive the letters in the last 2 weeks, and they have until March 17th to bring up any comments, errors, or omissions in any of those letters. We are collecting these responses and respond back to them saying, thank you for your information. This will be presented to council after the deadline on March 17th, and we will present them to council after the deadline. The fees are planned for right now to come into effect on June 1st, 2026. Also, the deadline for the submission of the town's assessment by our assessor, Accurate Assessments, was on February 28th, 2026. So AAG, which is Accurate Assessment Group, provided me with our new assessments over the weekend, and taxable property values are up by nearly $71 million this year. I did do some preliminary review, and assessment totals compared to budget tax collected shows reduced mill rates for this new year, and even when taking in a 2% tax increase. Current findings are favorable, and a few spot checks of rolls and net taxes payable compared to prior years is actually very comparable. It's not like it's a big swing one way or the other. Some are slightly increased, some are slightly decreased, so there is some varied results, but it does look favorable with increased assessment, reduced mill rate. Taxes are still looking very much as they have in the past. I will be completing a full analysis and present final findings to council at a future meeting, and our assessor Bob Dodlin is wanting to come to council and make a presentation on his findings at an upcoming meeting in April or May of 2026. He is taking some very well-deserved 2 weeks off, and I'll be in contact with him in the middle of March, and we'll set that date up. So overall, looking really good. Corporate services has also been really busy with other year-end reporting. So this includes LAPP reconciliation and year-end reporting for our pensions, T4 reconciliation and reporting, and the WCB reconciliation and reporting. So a special thanks goes out to my team, so my payroll and HR administrator and the finance manager for doing some very good work in this year-end. It's always a very tight turnaround between January and February and getting all these reports in, as well as rolling over the payroll for the new year. So I'm very happy to report that everything went very well this year. And one final thing, corporate services has continued to take part in discussions and demonstrations related to our new ERP solution. So that's to replace our old Diamond coming to end of life. We had another half-day demo last week and are in the process now of evaluating all the options that are available to the town. So I think we've received a demo on everything that would be pertinent to the town, and we're just waiting on a few cost figures and whatnot, and then we will present pros and cons and recommendations to council, probably maybe at a workshop. There's a lot that's into that, and then make a plan for that. This is, once again, a very long-term project. Most implementations run around 9 months, so it's not a quick and easy change. Looking for something such as payroll to start, our goal would be to start January 1st of 2027, because if we start payroll partway through the year, a lot of the time we end up having to do 2 sets of T4s, which is a pain in the butt. So stay tuned, and we're looking forward to getting this project underway, not by any of our choice. Like I said, Diamond is coming to end of life, so we are forced to do this. While we have some concerns with our existing program, it is still a lot of work to go through an entire new implementation. So that is all I've got.
Any questions? Really, no questions on the assessment? $71 million increase in our assessment. Still collecting the same amount of tax dollars we needed, but that'll bring the mill rate down.
And I did do a quick few spot checks on several rolls, and taxes didn't go outrageously high or low, so it
You looked at mine, I guess.
Yep, actually, I normally pick all of senior management and council, so all of ours looked okay, because it's a good range of,
I can't believe Councilor Rudick's doubled.
no one's doubled, everyone's was very comparable.
No, Councilor Lemko's, his went up, his assessment was the same forever. You can sell your house now, you're gonna get rich. Okay, well, there's no more questions. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward for the presentation of our new assessor and meeting them, and
Yeah, Bob's been great. I also have a list of things that he's found, so that is to stay tuned to be presented to council as well, but nothing pressing or emergent, but they definitely dug in and they uncovered a few things, nothing that's urgent or pressing, but it is just some interesting tidbits that they've uncovered.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, CAO.
All right, I really don't have much to highlight here in the next, for the last couple weeks, except for the fact that I spent a lot of time preparing for council's strategic planning session, and then,
How'd that go?
really well, actually. And then I've spent a lot of time, working through, the decisions and, going forward with that, so that's all I really have for you this week.
So we have a meeting on Monday night? Huh?
It's March.
March the 8th, I thought. Oh, mine says the 8th. Okay, well, stand corrected.
It's not you. It's the thing. Feel free to refresh, okay.
Okay, what about this RCMP Real-Time Operations Center? Is that the 11th or is that the 12th now?
Wednesday.
Okay, and what time is that? And that's right at K Division? Okay. And then Ledge meeting on the 17th. We meet with the Elk Island Catholic School Board trustees on March the 18th. And that's all we need to know. That's far enough in advance for us, really. Okay. So, with that being said, is there any other business of council? Don't think I missed anything. We do have one item. Two. Oh. Well, I only brought one up when I was going through it, so, okay. Okay, so we'll need a motion to go into closed session. Councilor Curtis makes the motion at 4:26. All those in favor? Carried. If you'd like, we could have a couple of minutes break, grab a coffee.